I'm about to go out and cook up some s'mores, but I thought this would be. I got 20 minutes to kill, so I figured I'd go over some of these clips I saw from Cal and Hannah McNair on Texans All Access with Mark Vandermeer and John Harris, and frankly, this is where I find myself conflicted. I have been adamantly opposed, skeptical of any Texans player playing flag football in the Olympics several years from now, 2028, right? Hannah hit me where it hurts. For one, she has pledged her full support behind flag football, especially on the women's side of things. She's full bore into it. She loves it. And she had this to say about NFL players being interested in it.
The NFL backing players who want to go play flag football, I think it's only going to get bigger before the Olympics. I think Josh Allen made a statement this past week about how exciting it is to be able to have that opportunity and actually represent your country in a sport that we all love and we know changes lives. So to do that in a flag football format is just the beginning. And to have the females be able to participate in that is huge.
Yeah, that's where I am with this. It's just like how I'm skeptical of Kevin Durant coming to the Rockets and what they might have to give up to get him. But at the same time, I know that if Kevin Durant is on the Rockets, I will be 100% full bore into Kevin Durant. I get really nervous, especially given the injuries that some Astros have sustained right before the baseball season and the World Baseball Classic. I get nervous about guys, especially guys like Derek Stingley or Nico Collins, the two guys that are most pointed to as awesome potential flag football players. I get nervous about those guys who have suffered their fair share of injuries going and playing in a competitive event. Well, playing for the glory of their country, so they're going to be going hard right before the NFL season. But if Hannah is that far into it and really is going to encourage guys to do it, it's probably going to happen. I know a lot of the players individually want to do it. So I'm getting excited about the prospect of Derek Stingley, because you got to remember, in flag football, there are limited numbers on the roster. It's either 10 or 12, whatever it might be, and you might have to play both ways. So Derek Stingley wouldn't just be a defensive back; he'd have some opportunities as a wide receiver. I think he's going to be one of the best guys in the league to potentially fill that role. He's got the best ball skills. He's top 3 in ball skills amongst defensive backs. And I think I'm very intrigued by this. So now I'm actually kind of getting excited for it and waiting for it when him and probably Travis Hunter and somebody else. I don't want Nico Collins doing it. I just flat out, Nico's had too many soft tissue injuries. I don't want it. But this is the part that Hannah brings up where it's for a greater cause than even just Olympic glory. She talks about the value that flag football brings to high school girls, because she's trying to get UIL, whatever it would be, to get it sanctioned in the UIL.
For the female athlete, they are seeing different opportunities. And I know you mentioned basketball and soccer. I mean, it really doesn't interfere with those sports. Right. And we've seen that throughout this last year with girls who do play those sports coming into flag football and being able to compete at the highest level, even though they had never played it before. It does translate. I saw a lot of quarterbacks that were point guards in basketball. Yeah. So it does translate over to this sport, and it provides a different opportunity to athletes that they didn't have before. And there's so many different athletes who aren't able to make the high school team for, let's say, basketball, or be on the track team, or be on the soccer team. And this is another avenue for them where they have the talent to do some of these things, and now they can put it into girls flag football. Yeah.
So she got me there, and as S.J. Fountains points out, yes, it's for the greater good. I'll do it for the greater. I will selflessly sacrifice the bodies of other men for the greater good of the cause. This is one thing where I came from. My high school graduating class was about 200 people. It's pretty small. Like, you could be a varsity athlete, and if you're some semblance of an athlete, you're going to have a chance to play. I'm just amazed at the size of some of these schools in Texas, and I always do wonder, man, there's a lot of kids that just don't get the opportunity to start. And it's not because they don't work hard. It's not because they, don't try or anything like that. It's just, it's super competitive. It's hard to be a varsity athlete in a lot of these schools in Texas. So more opportunities for girls. And then, my wife was a point guard. Hannah says she was a point guard when she played in high school. And my wife has said this multiple times when watching girls flag football. Oh my God, I would have loved this. I would have loved this so much. So in the interest of promoting girls sports and giving them more opportunities in the interest of Derek Stingley winning a gold medal potentially. And thirdly, little scared of Hannah. I'm a little scared of Hannah, and that's why I love her, because she takes the bull by the horns, and she's gotten crap done in the last couple years in a way that we didn't think the Texans were capable of getting things done. She also threw a little bit of shade at the Pro Bowl flag football when Mark said, well, yeah, and hey, they've played it at the Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl, but it's not really what we see, is it?
No. I don't know if you can call that a really competitive flag football game at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'd like to do it just to actually showcase what these guys might be able to do playing flag football. There's a part of me that thinks also, man, some of those guys that are on the USA team already, like they've got to have a chip on their shoulder. There is a lot of skill to just the difference in the game, and you got to be more serpentine as a runner. I think that there's certain, like, I would rather have Kyler Murray than Lamar Jackson, for instance. I want a guy who can scat around all over the place, and then the hand-eye coordination of grabbing the flag, the moves that you take, the juke where you got to be more swivel-hipped, all that. And there's probably a lot of flag football players that are like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, let's not just assume everybody's going to be better than me just because they're 4 inches taller and can run a 40 just as fast as me, all that. As far as the actual team itself goes, Cal did have this to say about the Texans' current roster.
I think we have one of our best rosters. Mm-hmm. I think we have some young men that are really committed to winning and putting in all the work, and we saw that, on the field these last few weeks. I can't wait to get started. I love to win, and I just want to win the next game we play.
Yeah, they asked for a prediction or something of the sort. He gave the right answer. What's the most important game? The next game. I want to re-listen to the first part of that again.
I think we have one of our best rosters.
One of our best rosters. I would agree. I think in comparison to even going back to 2011, 2012, various times when they had DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson, J.J. Watt, Arian Foster, various guys on the team at the same time, some of the more competitive Texans teams have also been annoyingly top-heavy. And in the middle class and in the special teams area, they just haven't been as well-rounded. This seems like the deepest and most well-rounded roster so far. Special teams has been a strength for a few years now, whereas going back to 2012, remember, Andre said going into 2013, he felt like the team wasn't in as good a shape as everybody felt it was, partly because so many starters were playing on special teams. Now we're at a point where we've got guys on the team that are specifically well compensated for how good they are on special teams. I think if you look at the depth of the defensive line, and I know even though defensive tackle doesn't have a true Pro Bowl caliber type guy or all pro caliber type guy, they've got multiple guys that could start on many NFL teams at defensive end likewise. So when you start rotating through 8 guys on game day, that's about as deep as I can ever remember the whole defensive line being. And you go back to the defensive backfield. Still, you can never have enough cornerbacks, as we saw by the signing of Damon Arnett this week. But the sum total of it is, compared to a lot of those other teams, they just don't have as many journeyman types in starting positions. The offensive line is the biggest question mark right now for, all right, what are we really going to get out of these guys? And we won't really know, obviously, until we see it. Also, a nice story in here about back in the day when Cal would be grilling outside and Bob McNair would poke his head out the window and yell over to Cal.
Told a story, I think, of the late Bob McNair, and when he opens up the window and says, "Cal, are you grilling out there? Throw a couple of steaks on for us."
He would, and he would actually offer to bring some steaks over, and I go, "Dad, I got you. I'll cook some up and bring
I'll
them
cover you on this one."
It was, "Hey Cal, do you think I can throw a couple steaks on there?" Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like that Bob McNair was never just going to impose on his son for steaks. He was going to bring his own steaks over, or maybe he disapproved of Cal's choices in steak. Maybe that's why. Anyway, true story here. The last time I ran into Cal McNair in nature, like out somewhere where it wasn't a football-related event or a charitable event or anything, it was at Academy on the Southwest Freeway right there at 59 and Kirby, and he was picking up barbecue supplies. He was 100% just a guy from the neighborhood in the Academy there, wearing flip-flops, going back to the barbecue section to pick up whatever the hell he was picking up. We had a good conversation, but he's He's not posing when it comes to actually caring about barbecue. He's not afraid to mingle with actual normal people like me and all the other Academy Sports customers. Pour me a glass. I'm all in. I don't. Are you all in on? Oh yeah, you're all in on the Kool-Aid, the Super Bowl caliber team. I'm increasingly all in on flag football. The Super Bowl is more imminent. Hopefully by the time if they win a Super Bowl between now and the Olympics, they can do whatever the hell they want, and I'm not gonna complain about anything. Not once. Not in my job as a sports radio host. I'll be whining about everything. So we've been doing it for the Astros for a decade. You gotta fret. You gotta fret about the little things. Anybody got any questions before I cook these s'mores? I'm not on Cal's level. I'm gonna go up. We had burgers earlier, and now we're gonna go do some s'mores out by the fire pit. All right, everybody. Have a great Saturday.